Hello there, lovely people. It's Alex from Nintendo Live here, and yeah, I'd stand by that title. I mean, as much as hyperbole can be stood by. We've been really lucky with a lot of Mario Kart games on Switch. You know, we've got a good chunk of them, you know. We've got the original, we've got Mario Kart 64, we've obviously got 8 Deluxe, and we've now got Super Circuit, and they're all very good games. We don't have all the Mario Kart games, obviously, because does anyone think about 7 anymore? They've got some representation though, with like all the retro courses that they've got in there. I'm pretty sure every single Mario Kart game has got some representation in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, except one. And that's because obviously it's technically not a Mario Kart game, it's YouTube. Yes, I am of course talking about, anyone who knows will know, Diddy Kong Racing. There have been a lot of kart races over the years, but this one I genuinely think is ridiculously special, and it has had no real love in terms of re-releases, except for one fateful instance, the DS version, which we don't talk about. And so I'm going to be telling you why I think it's so special and what differentiates it from Mario Kart proper, and why, frankly, it should be on Nintendo Switch Online yesterday. But anyway, that's more than enough waffling. Let's dive right into things. So Dinky King Racing, what is it that sets it apart from Mario Kart? Well, obviously, one of the big things is the cast, you know. Mario Kart, you've got your standard, you got your Mario, your Luigi, you got your Yoshi, your Peach, your Bowser. It's all pretty standard stuff. But that is not the case with Daddle Cattle Rattle. Oh no, indeed, you've got quite the motley crew. You've obviously got Diddy Kong himself. There are 8 characters. Let's see if I can remember in one take. You got Diddy Kong, obviously. No other Kongs. That's kind of interesting, except for in the DS one, which again we don't talk about. You've got Bumper the Badger. He's a badger with like a Norfolk or Midlands accent. Maybe something a bit like that anyway. You've got Crunch, who's a Kremlin. That's kind of a Donkey Kong character. Who else you got? You've got Banjo, obviously, his first appearance in a game. Same with Conker the Squirrel. You've got Tip Top, first appearance for him in a game as well, even though he is only a minor character overall. You've got Tip Top. You've got Pipsy. How could I forget flipping Pipsy? And Timber the Tiger, of course. I really like Timber. How could I forget my boy? The point is, it's a bit of a mixed crew, and I find that to be really quite fun. You know, don't get me wrong, you know, Mario characters are great. I love them, but there's something very different about driving around with arguably a bunch of, well, most of them are complete nobodies. But that makes it kind of fun. So many of them are original characters, like Bumper the Badger, who's a great character, but I can't drive him for toffee. I mean, to be brutally honest, I've never really been able to get any decent racing out of anyone except Tip Top. It's all about the handling. So that's it, is it, Alex? That's the end. That's the difference with Mario Kart. You just want to play as a badger or not. You want to play as a turtle or tortoise. I don't know what he is. I think he's a turtle. Au contraire, mon petit filou. No, indeed. There's a lot more to it than just that. And the big thing is, and anyone who's played the game will know this, you know, Mario Kart, you load up the game, you've got menu, race. Okay, fair enough, you know, it functions. Diddy Kong Racing, you have an entire adventure mode, and it is just that. It's a flippin' adventure. You dropped in, and you know that some stuff's going down. The manual has like a load of... Do I have the manual? I have never realized this before. I bought this secondhand. This is my copy of Diddy Kong Racing, which I recently dumped the ROM of. Not just for this video, I can't lie, I just wanted to play the game. But I only got this a few years ago, and the cardboard insert, which is still intact, it says Diggy Kong. Well done. I do have the manual. I usually don't mind about this sort of thing. Good lord, yeah, there's, that's quite a bit of story. Right there, pause if you want to read it. But to give you the general gist of it, like, something's happened to Timber's family, Timber the Tiger. The Tigers who are, of course, the guests of the Kongs, because, you know, that's some lore we need. Actually, I quite like it. And then there's this evil thing called Whizpig, who, you know, despite his name, is a wizard pig and not... I couldn't think of anything funny in time. But there's some stuff going down, and Diddy Kong's going to go and help out and make, you know, by driving. Standard, but not only driving. Also, there are 2 other vehicles in the game. You've got the hovercraft and you've got the plane. And that is just another fantastic leaf to this book, which I will probably go over in a little more detail in just a little bit. But first of all, the adventure. You land and you talk to, objectively, the best character in the game, Taj the elephant, or Genie. He's a genie elephant. Honestly, he's fantastic, and it's an actual crime. You can't play as him in the game. Again, I'm aware of the DS remake. And you drive around the overworld, you find the races that you go to in these little lobbies and everything, and there is so much to do. It's not just, 4 races. It looks like that at first. You do the 4 races and, ooh, a boss thing. Okay, and there's a boss race, and you do the boss race, and then the boss says, well done, kid. Or at least one of them. In fact, do they all do that? One of them's an octopus, and he goes, but they then tell you to do the races again in the silver coin challenge. And the CPUs are harder, and you have to collect all the silver coins. It's like 8 or something, or 10, and you've got to collect all of those within 3 laps and then come first. And that is admittedly quite easy in Dino Domain, but as it goes down, because there are 4 worlds to begin with, and I've given it away now. There are 4 worlds to begin with, and they get increasingly harder, and to be honest, they can get pretty flipping hard. The game has a lot of mechanics that it doesn't immediately tell you about, and I didn't even fully know the game told you about until I started playing it again recently, because I don't know, I didn't read the subtitles when it came up with Taj when he said, I have something special for you. I just didn't see them. Maybe there was too much overscan or something. I don't know. So you do all the silver coin challenges. Are you done? No, you're not. You've got to do another boss race, and it's much harder. It's still not out of this world, but it's definitely a nice challenge. And then you find out that there's a key in every single world, where in one of the 4 courses, and you got to go there. You find the key, and you get a bonus game as well. This game is just rife with content. It's absolutely rife with it. And this, I hasten to point out, this is all just the single player mode. This is really primarily a single player game. Unless you do the 2-player adventure mode, which is hidden behind a cheat code for some reason. There's not masses to discover in the overworld, it has to be said. There's a couple of hidden golden balloons, which is the main collectible, and I don't think I've mentioned that yet. And golden balloons are required to open up the different doors in order to get to different races, and yeah, it's really good fun. That's not even everything. The mini game isn't even the final thing. There's also then a trophy race where you do all 4 of them against really hard CPUs, all 4 of the races, I mean, and it's basically a Grand Prix. And it's kind of almost like a victory lap in a way. It's generally not too hard to win, but really good fun. Really good fun. And you do that for all 4 worlds. And as I kind of teased earlier, after the 4 worlds, you defeat Wizpig, and then there's a 5th world, and I've never been good at it. To be brutally honest, I don't actually think in my childhood years I ever legitimately unlocked the 5th world. I think it was always Game Shark codes. And the same goes for the hidden characters, because yeah, there's unlockable characters in this game. One of them, Drumstick, is like the fastest in a plane, and he's ridiculously good. He's pretty cool. He always felt like a sort of like a something that you heard about in the playground, but he didn't actually exist. A secret character? No way. And then you saw when you put in your action replay on your Game Shark, and it came with unlock Drumstick, and it was like, oh. But he's really good fun. I like Drumstick a lot. And then there's also, you can unlock TT, who you see wandering around in the lobby. Does that stand for anything? Oh, it stands for TikTok, according to the DS version. So TT, full name, he provides time trials, hence his name being TT. That's the only reason. You can also get the opportunity to beat his times, which are, some of them, really flipping difficult to do, where you'll have his ghost driving around and you've got to beat him. Honestly, it's really good fun and really, really difficult, but it's well worth doing because you can unlock him as a character as well, and he is flipping fast. Again, I don't think I ever did that legitimately. The actual racing gameplay is also really quite different. You've got, as I mentioned before, you've got 3 vehicles to choose from. Everyone uses the same vehicle, because obviously. The car is obviously fastest on the ground, and I think it's overall the fastest vehicle. I could be wrong about that, but it feels the fastest. You can do these really tight turns with it and everything. Like, some of them, you can do ridiculously tight turns, and there's almost no analog control in that at all, so you really have to, like, be careful with it. So you can do ridiculously sharp turns, but you've got to be careful, because otherwise you're going to plow straight into a wall, like I always do. And you've got the hovercraft, where you can like swerve like that and slalom, and apparently that's faster according to what I've read on the internet. I don't know for certain. And also, like, I think it may only be the car, I'm not 100% sure, but you just hold the A button, yeah, you can go maximum speed, only it's not the maximum speed. If you rapidly mash the A button, you'll go a bit faster. I don't know if that's intentional or not, or maybe it wasn't originally intentional and then they thought, hey, this is pretty cool, let's leave this in the game. I don't know, but either way, flippin' heck, there's so much sort of like subtle technique in there. It's really good fun. And when you hit a boost pad, if you let go of the accelerator like a few frames beforehand, or like, it's pretty generous, but you can still, like, if you do it too soon before hitting it, it doesn't count. You release that, you'll actually get a better boost than if you just went into it plowing into it, which means there's sort of tactics involved in that as well. And the tactical gameplay goes even deeper, because in Mario Kart, obviously, you get the item boxes, and if you're further back in the pack, then you get better items generally. Diddy Kong Dangle Kangle Wrangle, it's not the case. No, you have these balloons that you find around. You've got red, blue, yellow, green, and rainbow. Red gives you a missile come rocket type thing. Blue gives you a boost. Green gives you like a thing that you can drop, so like an oil slick. Yellow gives you a shield, which is kind of like invulnerability, but I don't know if it actually does. I swear I've plowed into people and it's damaged them, but then it's not happened the next time, and I haven't looked it up. And rainbow gives you a magnet, which draws you closer to the enemy. But it doesn't end there, because if you have one balloon, you got the item in your reserve, and then you hit another balloon of the same color, it powers it up, baby. For example, one red balloon will get you just a missile, 2 red balloons will get you a homing missile, and 3 red balloons will get you 10 standard missiles, which is frankly a lot. It's like 9 more than 1. And they all do that, and you can get 3 rainbow balloons, and your magnet instead like drags enemies towards you if you get all 3, I think. And it's not worth it, to be brutally honest, because the rainbow ones are hard to get, because they're not randomized, they're always fixed. So the better balloons for certain instances in courses are usually harder to reach. It's so cool. And it's like, do you like risk trying to level up your balloon and get a better weapon, or do you just try and let fly as quickly as possible? Because, you know, if you've got like, you got a homing missile and you think, one more red and I'll get, I'll get 10, and then you accidentally hit a blue, you go back to tier 1 blue. It's tactics, baby. Frankly, I absolutely adore this game, and I keep forgetting about it. I bought it properly for the first time a couple of years ago, because I only ever played it around friends' houses or borrowed it from friends when I was younger, and I was always envious. You know, I had Mario Kart 64, and I am not knocking on Mario Kart, it's an amazing series. But Diddy Kong Racing was trying to go for something really quite different, and I think they absolutely nailed it, and I can't believe this isn't on NSO. I mean, I sort of can, because it's mixing like Rare IP, which is Microsoft, and Nintendo IP, so like, even though Banjo-Kazooie is on Switch Online, it's a bit easier. It's just like, hey, it's a Microsoft product, but this is the original Nintendo version. Have at it, guys. And even GoldenEye is a complicated thing as well, but Diddy Kong Racing has Nintendo characters and Microsoft characters kind of in the same mix. It's complicated. Although they kind of did that with Diddy Kong Racing DS. But again, we don't talk about that. There's so much I haven't even mentioned about the game. Like, the theming, I think, is really strong. The music is amazing. And like you can hear some of the sort of like, some of the DNA for future games, like Conker's theme, or at least Conker's variant of the character select theme. It sounds very much like a Conker, like a Conker theme. Same with Banjo. It's just great. It's just really good fun. And it is such a shame it's not available on NSO. It is such a shame. I really hope Nintendo can make it work, because it's an amazing game. And frankly, if you played it on original N64 hardware, particularly the PAL version, it needs its own version, like, immediately. Because I've been playing it on my Steam Deck, and it is like a breath of fresh air. Danky Kang Racking needs more recognition from everyone involved, and everyone who hasn't heard of it. I implore you to go out and get a copy of the game. Even if it's the DS version, I suppose. It is significantly lesser, in my opinion. Just, there's lots of little changes that just don't make sense and don't add up, frankly. But the N64 original is a stone cold classic, and this one's in really good nick, though I say so myself. If you ever get the chance to play this game or get a copy yourself, even better. I can't recommend it highly enough. Honestly, one of the most original and fun kart races I've ever played, and I'm still enjoying playing through it right flipping now. But what do you think? Have you heard of Diddle King Ringing? Are you a big fan, or have you never heard of it before and I've maybe enlightened you about our Lord and Savior, Bumper the Badger? Let us know with a comment down below. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, then why don't you drive off-road and try and find that super secret subscribe button? It's in one of the courses somewhere. And be sure to check out NintendoLife.com for all sorts of lovely Nintendo-related content. Thank you again for watching. Bye-bye. Au contraire, mon petit filou. No, indeed, I've... To give you the general gist of it, like,